Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So I just wanted to kind of step away from deck profiles and analysis and stuff and just kind of show you what I've got going on. These are the decks that I'm alternating between every chance I get to play as much as possible, and these are my 3 decks that I keep going back to this format. Also, our memory marker for the month of January is going to be Cubimon or Pokemon. This is the baby or rookie form of Renamon, a huge fan favorite. This is handmade out of clay by my wife, as always, hand painted on face and everything. Super adorable memory marker for sure, especially with EX2 on the horizon. Definitely some Renamon love going around. Now, if you want any of our previous memory markers we've had on the channel, check the coffee link in the description below. There you can see all the previous memory markers we've had on the channel. The benefit, though, of going through Patreon is that you get the featured memory marker of the month for a discounted rate. Alright, so right now we're kind of in this flux of BT6/Classic Collection, depending on where you're at in the world. The US keeps getting Classic Collection delayed, but we did have the some limited release of it already, and we've already got our hands on it, been playing it. While maybe not in official tournaments, we've definitely been playing it on the side. So naturally, the first deck that I've got to get into, and we definitely got to cover it now before any possible future ban lists occur, and that's going to be blue. I mentioned the ban list because I do have the Ice Wall in there. You can't not play it. I feel like if you're playing blue, you just got to play Ice Wall. It's so good. One cost to basically turn your opponent's whole attacking phase completely off. So good. As well as, a great card to get hit in security. I am running the Hammer Sparks as well. This isn't going to be like a full breakdown of these decks, by the way. I'm just going to kind of show you what, has been working, kind of some honorable mention, kind of, so to speak, stuff. I do got the new Gabumon in here, though. This has the inheritable of reveal top 3, add a Tamer or a Digimon with Gabumon in the name. I love this card in this deck, simply because this deck's biggest weakness is that it has to get into its combo as soon as possible. It really needs to get Bond of Friendship and Mat. Okay, you need the Mat on field, the Bond of Friendship in hand, and if you're missing either of these 2 pieces, the deck suffers. Okay, so that's the biggest issue is consistency. And if not, you can always just go Rookie Rush with some hybrids in there, that sort of thing. But really, you need these guys. So with a good, solid set of level 4s that we have in the deck, we can easily Digivolve on top of this Gabumon and swing with it. We get its search power. If we have the Upamon underneath, we can possibly get some draws going pretty easily as well, just to help dig for those important pieces. Of course, we're still playing the best Gabumon for Bond of Friendship to go on. I do have 3 of the Tamer Searchers. I didn't max out on this one. I cut it down just a little bit. This is all I currently have of this card, and honestly, it's felt pretty good. More than this, and it feels like it's too much. You're trying to dig for Tamers as well as the Bonds, both pretty equally. So we've already got the Strabimon kind of helping digging for the Tamer. So you don't want to go too overboard on all these Tamer dig cards and not have enough of the Digimon search cards. So just a little bit of a balance between the both. That's what I like about the new Gabumon so much, is that you reveal 3 and you get the one that you need in the moment. So if these other guys could have that nice diversity, if I got to pick between the 2, that'd be great. But they don't. So I do have the other Gabumon, though, the draw 1. Just give me a card, okay? I'll hard play this. I'll just draw the card. I'm not gonna search or pick between 3. Just give me the card. We'll move on. I don't want to play the Tamer search and then end up Bond of Friendship gets revealed. I needed the Bond of Friendship too. I always hate when that happens. So just a little bit of a balance between everything. I am running a nice, healthy hybrid package. They are kind of cut down. I did have them at 4 each, but to run all these options, which it might be a little heavy, it's to be determined still. It's feeling pretty good as is, but my big option package has cut down on my hybrids a little bit. I could also cut down on the Grizzlymon a little bit if need be, very easily. I do like just a little bit of stall though, but the Grizzlymon I've started to need less and less now with the Ice Wall in play. The blocker just doesn't feel as needed anymore. It's pretty nice, honestly. It's a really nice feeling not to need the blocker anymore, just because I've got so much better things going on. And one of the things that I really like that's going on is my my options, and we have the blue memory boost just to kind of help with the digging for the bond of friendship there. Davis also helping us dig for it, but these are the only like reveal cards get to add a blue Digimon to hand, so that's why we really like these. Just the hard play and get it going. Blue Memory Boost is also great for a supplement for not having a memory fixer at the start of your turn. Hammer Spark, though, just good old classic Hammer Spark. Gain a memory. With the mat effect here, when we promote up from raising, we're going to gain that memory as well as draw. So our opponent puts us to 1. Mat's going to bring us up to 2. We just need 1 more memory to just completely go off on our opponent. So Hammer Spark just gets the job done. It gets you that 1 extra memory that you need to start going into your Bond of Friendship plays, as well as the security effect. Gain 2 memory. What a classic. I mean, games have been won and lost because of hitting Hammer Spark and security. So bringing it back, playing it, feeling really good with having it back in the deck at a solid 3 of. But Ice Wall kind of fits into that same category. It's got the same security effect, which is absolutely wonderful, but also just going on the it's like a defensive play a little bit. It's also a good card to play to pass to your opponent to memory choke them at 1. It's a really good, just all around great card. I definitely see why people are asking for it to come get hit. To be determined if that actually happens or not, though. And then Rattlestar is just my preferred removal here. I know a lot of people are still going with the Kikaitis Breath. I really like Rattlestar, particularly for our format. Return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower to the hand. Pretty solid. That alone is already pretty great. But, really, though, when you're using removal options, you're trying to target, like, megas or higher. So if your opponent has 3 or more Digimon in play, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the owner's deck instead. That's huge, okay? Not just returning it to hand, but you're putting it to the bottom of the deck. Putting it to the hand sucks, okay? Let's be honest. Let me just bounce this Bond of Friendship that just attacked me 3 times in security. Let me just put that back in your hand instead of it getting destroyed at the end of turn. Ugh. Okay. Same thing with Bond of Courage. The same thing. Security control. They hit into this in security, and you bounce something back to their hand just for them to get a hard play it again. What is it? The Magna Angemon or whatever it is, or their Magna Germon. You don't want that to happen. Okay, you don't want to give them that value all over again to use on you. So I really don't like Kikaitis Breath. I really like Rattlestar being able to put it to the bottom of the deck. Just done. Get it out of here. I don't want to see it for the rest of this game. And we can go about our business. You might think, well, it's a lot harder to get. It's more subjective with the 3 needing to be on field. Really, though, that's not too bad. Against a Bond of Friendship deck, which is hugely played in the meta right now, they're going to have, like a blocker on field, probably a Gabumon that they hard played, and then that Bond of Friendship that they promoted that turn. That's 3 on field right there. Super easy, okay? That's like a very normal play for them to have something like that. Very, very normal. Especially if you put a 1 blocker, then they're just waiting for to draw into their Bond of Friendship and go off on you. So they're going to have a little bit wider field because of your blocker. So getting this Rattlestar into play pretty easily. Even against Jessmon, if they jump the gun and they don't play their delicate plan and this gets hit, they're going to have, the whatever Sistermon that they're going to hard play off of the Jessmon to make all the Jessmon's abilities live. That's going to instantly put them at 2. So they just needed to have 1 Digimon on field prior to them promoting up that level 5 out of raising. Not unheard of, okay? It's like, really, you're going to say they're going to have nothing on field at the turn that they promote up that Jessmon out of raising? I highly doubt it. So having them at 3, totally plausible, okay? The only time this does lose a little bit of value is against security control. Security control having 3 Digimon on field at one time, it's a little sketchy. But again, I don't want to play Kikaitis Breath against them and put whatever back into their hand for them to play on me again. So if I have the Kikaitis Breath in hand against security control, I still don't want to freaking play that card. But that's going to be it for this deck. My next deck, though, is security control. Speak of the devil. I am running both security Digimon. These things put in so much work for me. Just popping little things, things crashing into them, so it's like a double play, especially against like D Brigade. Geo Greymon against D Brigade is so good. They swing into it, they die to the security check. He comes out, he pops a second one on field. So good. Cordramon, needs no explanation. Just that draw is so great. The tactical retreat, I am running a couple in here just because I do run such a heavy security Digimon package. I do like the tactical retreat. Only run this if you're running a pretty hefty amount of security Digimon though. Besides that though, pretty much standard stuff down here. I would say the only kind of flex area is my black package. I am running quadruple Izzy and Joe. I have been running a 1 copy or maybe 2 copies of the regular Izzy in just kind of a balancing act, just kind of going back and forth on what I like. It's so easy to trigger this to gain the 2 memory. It's really easy. But being able to just set my top 3 of my deck and be able to plan out my holy waves and things like that is so good. Putting my defeats at the exact position, okay, I'm going to pass turn with this Izzy. Okay, well, I'll put defeat as my second card. So the next turn I'll draw into one, and then I'll play the holy wave to put that defeat into security, things like that. So I really like that knowledge. But the memory gain is also so easy to trigger on these guys that I really like them as well. This package here, though, this might be different for some people. I've got Gwaltschwarmer in here. Some people aren't playing this at all. I do have it as a 2 of just because it's a massive nuke. Okay, it's a huge nuke just for wiping the whole field. The reason I only have it a 2 of though is because no security effect. It just gets added to hand. If this triggered, absolutely I'd play more of it. Iron Fisted Onslaught, this is a great removal. Honestly, I've had so many games where I just cleared 2 or 3 Beelstarmons with a single Iron Fisted Onslaught. I've played against green decks where they had these 12 play cost Digimon on field, double megas, and yeah, Iron Fisted Onslaught against decks that like to go heavy on their megas, really good. So I've got it at a 3 of, even against other decks, because it goes off of play cost and not against DP. So against Rookie Rush decks where they're all 3 play cost rookies, Iron Fisted Onslaught can clear a hefty amount of Digimon, and it just planned out right. If you only need to clear one thing, you might look at something else, but against the right deck, knowing the deck really well, Iron Fisted Onslaught can be detrimental. And then Ultimate Flare is just always good. Just Digivolving 3 is pretty awesome, but also just clearing a whole board is always good. Any kind of big board wipes of your opponent is super good, and that's really gonna it's a fairly simple, straightforward list. I don't really have any changes that I want to make to it. Like I said, the only thing I go back and forth on is the Izzy and Joe versus just the Izzy Memory Fixer, and that's about it. I do debate sometimes running a Lucymon because I do kind of miss it a little bit, especially with the Magnadramon plays that you can do where you get to play it for free. That's about it, though. And then the last deck that I'm really playing a whole lot of is Jesmon. A couple changes that I have made since my initial list that I had was my Sistermon package here. I dropped the CL down to 2 and the block up to 4. So no more 3 and 3. The block just felt way more beneficial. Just playing it on those turns where I might be bricking a little bit, just get some more draw power. The blocker, just having the blocker in here really kind of mitigated the need to have other blockers in the deck. And it's just a great card. It's 3 play costs, not too bad there. The CL right now, I think it's just kind of in an awkward spot. The gain the memory, it's going to happen after I attack. So if I Digivolve an Jesmon for 3, I go to 0, and then I play a Sistermon, I go back up to 1. Well, now I've already swung, so I can't a Delicate Plan anymore. So that's kind of out of the question. It's just, it's so awkward right now. When we get stuff like Chimeramon, I definitely see the value of CL going up, because then you can just Joggerus into the Chimera and be totally fine. But until then, I think this is going to be my preferred package. The War Greymon, just turning off options in security is great if you're going against security control or against Musketeers, which are both hugely popular in my locals as well as just in the online scene. War Greymon is a great substitute. If you can't go into your Jesmon, your Bricking, or whatever the case is, just go into War Greymon. You don't need to play the Delicate Plan because he's got it built in, and you just swing, okay? And you're already, that turn you Evo into him, you're definitely checking 2 security, probably more, depending on your level 5 package. If you have the Greymon underneath, that's more security checks. Very, very good stuff. One thing I am doing a little bit different from others, and besides not running the Gallantmon, running the War Greymon instead. I think War Greymon's way better than Gallantmon, absolutely way better. So instead of running the Guilmon, I'm running the Beomon. Both their inheritables are pretty similar. I just really like the Beomon because it's not once per turn. So if I swing twice with Jesmon, I can trigger Beomon multiple times. And so I just felt like that's really good, is getting the multiple checks out of, or multiple draws from Beomon just feels way better than the one check from Guilmon. Now, the thing that's really killing me right now is my level 5s. Which secondary level 5 do I want? Savior is awesome. Swinging twice is amazing. Voltdramon is very straightforward, very simple, very clean. No real thought to it. If you can't go Savior to unsuspend, go Volt to give you that extra security attack +1. It's almost like having Savior underneath, okay? It's like half of a Savior. But Rise Greymon, not necessarily just the Digiburst. Okay, the Digiburst 2 is really cool. Get rid of like your egg and your rookie and play your tamer. If you're playing Ty, you're not going to get that security attack +1, but you will get the memory fixer for following turns, which is cool. But man, just Rise Greymon, play out the tamer for free. Go Jesmon on top of Rise Greymon. So when you attack, this inheritable right here, this -2000 on one of your opponents, combine that with Bao Huckmon here, that's anything 7,000. Okay, you're deleting any Digimon with 7,000 DP or less, or you're clearing 2 things. So there's tons of stuff. Just going back and looking at this Gabumon deck, look at these rookies. Every single rookie that inheritable on that Rise Greymon can just clear off the board. Combine that with the Bao Huckmon, that's 2 Digimon you're clearing with every attack. There's so much value in Rise. If you're going for a little more, you need a little bit more control strategy, Rise is absolutely the way to go. If you're just going pure OTK, nothing else matters, Voltdramon's a pretty good secondary as opposed to Savior. So I'm just torn between the 2. I don't run 1 and 1. I don't think that's the way to go. I'd run 2. Just pick which one you want. Both have their value. I mean, it's literally whatever you prefer. They're both, the ceiling is definitely higher on the Rise Greymon than the Voltdramon, but the Voltdramon is still solid. He is still a beast of a card. And of course, we have to do a Delicate Plan. This format is just so option heavy. Come BT7, if you're still playing Jesmon, taking the Delicate Plan down definitely makes sense, because security control is not going to be as prevalent anymore, because it's not very good against hybrids, just because all those tamers on field, it can't delete anything to do with tamers, so it's just in an awkward position against those decks. So security control definitely falls off next format. But stuff like Judgment Blade is so good. Just being able to swing directly into the Digimon. You're going to have piercing anyway, so you're not going to lose out. Also clearing the blocker, so that way you can go Jesmon, swing over their blocker, kill it, get all your security checks, and then go Omnimon for game after that. Yeah, just really great stuff. And I do have the 2 red memory boost in here. If you've played Jesmon, you've probably experienced a bit of clogginess or bricking. It happens, okay? Sometimes you just don't draw into it. I mean, just mathematically, you feel like you should, but it doesn't always happen. So having a little bit of red memory boost just to help dig for that red Digimon when you need it is very, very awesome. This is also why like I said, I increased the blocks in the deck, just because it kind of helps lessen the bricking a little bit overall. But that's going to do it for my 3 decks this format that I keep alternating between. My wife is playing Imperialdramon for Classic Collection, so she's definitely excited for Vmon to be back and doesn't have to play Gabubons anymore, even though she has won every single game that she has played with this deck, including I've never beaten her. As long as she's playing this deck, I've never beaten her, but she'd still just rather play Imperialdramon and rather play Vmon. So, it is what it is.